Good morning. I'm recording this as the second devotion for this week, reading the non-gospel scriptures for this upcoming Sunday. I read the psalm last time and was really emotional with news of a friend's farm accident. And so obviously what always happens, scripture touches on the news of the day. Same as happening today. Today the scripture is from Isaiah 55. One thing about Isaiah in context to help us understand this, many researchers believe Isaiah was probably written by three different people, or at least three different time frames. One, and the event around these time frames was the Babylonian exile, when the people were either imprisoned or imprisoned in their own homes by the Babylonians, is one of the sections. And then the time after that, when they celebrate their freedom again, is a different section. Well, this reading is the transition time. Isaiah 55, it's the very last section before this transition period out of the Babylonian exile. So that's a little context. Let me read it and then I'll say more about it afterwards. Isaiah 55, 1 through 5. Ho, everyone who thirsts, come to the waters, and you that have no money, come buy and eat. Come, buy wine and milk without money and without price. Why do you spend your money for that which is not bread, and your labor for that which does not satisfy? Listen carefully to me, and eat what is good, and delight yourselves in rich food. Incline your ear, and come to me. Listen, so that you may live. I will make with you an everlasting covenant, my steadfast, sure love for David. See, I made him a witness to the peoples, a leader and commander for the peoples. See, you shall call nations that you do not know, and nations that do not know you shall run to you, because of the Lord your God, the Holy One of Israel, for he has glorified you. Definitely a word of hope. Interesting economy. Buy without money. That's not what this is about, though. It's not about an economic model or anything like that. It's encouragement in a time of transition. Encouragement from Isaiah about God. We are in a time of transition, I feel, in a couple of big, major areas of our lives. Even if we don't realize it, I think this coming out of the pandemic at the same time that it seems to be spiking, it's a time to know that God has us. God is offering us an everlasting covenant. I'm quoting from the scripture now. An everlasting covenant, a sure love for David and David's people. And then he makes this reference, I see, to other nations looking at Israel, perhaps as a model. Now I think of that, I don't know if this is positive or not, but America's being looked at as a model right now, I think, on a couple fronts. Handling of this pandemic and race relations. A lot of people are talking about patriotism these days, wanting to feel this great nation is indeed that great. That's what's going on, I see here. I'm going to read that part again. You shall call nations that you do not know, and nations that do not know you shall run to you because of the Lord your God. We, maybe like the nation of Israel, are modeled for many. We need to continue that. We need to figure this stuff out. And the place to do that is to turn back to God. I see a lot of that these days. People saying, "I turn back to God is what this nation needs," but I don't know if those people that post that stuff are thinking about the same needs I see in it. I see a nation needing an awakening on race, a nation seeing a need to come together to get by a pandemic. But anyway, Isaiah, I see this week as a transition text and some messages for us to maintain a nation under God.